Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, CeeChronicles here. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're a first timer here, my content is mostly fragrance review videos, lifestyle videos, and I do also fashion videos. I sometimes throw in, chat videos. So this is what to expect on this channel. I do hope you consider subscribing now or after watching this video. Thank you so much to my returning subscribers. I do appreciate you coming and watching me on this channel all the time. The support is unbelievable. Thank you so much, guys. I'm here with a fragrance review video for you. I have an Attar collection fragrance. Okay, this is a Middle Eastern house. I wanted to say I have a new discovery. Okay, yeah, that was the thing. That's why I got a bit sticky. I've just discovered this house, Attar collection. It's a Middle Eastern fragrance house, and this particular fragrance is called Khaltat Night. Okay, and this is of Attar collection, right? I came across this and I just thought, okay, a lot of people come to my channel for Middle Eastern fragrance reviews. So I'm going to look into this house. This is the first one I'll bring you. If I can bring another and another, that would be nice. Okay, so Khaltat Night is the fragrance that we're going to be talking about today. Okay, now this is obviously the packaging. This is how it looks. Quite beautiful. It's got like a velvety touch to the box. Okay, and as usual, like most Middle Eastern fragrance companies, they've just done a lot in terms of packaging, and then that is the fragrance. That is how it sits. Okay, this is the fragrance we're going to be talking about today. Okay, and just to note that it's important to check if yours is sticking, if yours doesn't fall off when you turn it around, because apparently they say there are some fakes around and stuff like that. So that is just one point I needed to point out. So this is the fragrance. Okay, and obviously it does have that Middle Eastern feel. Okay, that feel of opulence and luxury. Okay, so that is the presentation. I'm gonna spray it on my arm, and I'm gonna let you know what I perceive. I have been trying this fragrance. Okay, let's just spray it there. Sorry, my nozzle was facing the other way. Okay, so yes, Attar collection, and this one is called Khaltat Night. It's a 2016 composition. Oof, it's already filling the air. Cinnamon is what I get offset. Cinnamon and cherry. Okay, that is what you get in the top. It's just got cinnamon. It has a lot of cherry, vanilla, red apple, bit of some patchouli, and some white musk. Okay, those are the notes that are listed for this fragrance. However, the accords here is still warm, spicy, because of that cinnamon. Obviously, it's got the cherry mixed to it, a lot of cherry. Okay, it's sweet, it's fruity, it's almondy. Something comes across as nutty in here, and it feels like almonds. It's got like a nuttiness to it. Okay, the nuttiness is, I would say, also a touch of milkiness, just a touch of milkiness. So in that opening, what to expect the most is a lot of cherry, a lot of cinnamon, and a bit of almonds. Sorry, and it is a heavy fragrance, definitely heavy fragrance. Okay, there's also something here that comes across as a bit boozy. So I don't know, maybe it's got some cognac, but that is not listed as a note for this fragrance. There is a booziness here. Maybe it's rum. Something really feels, something really feels boozy. Okay, and it's a very loud fragrance. It also has a syrupy touch to it. Something that feels like maybe it's the apple. I don't know, but whatever fruits are in here feel syrupy. As though there's some honey in here. I don't know, but there is a really syrupy feel to it. But in terms of the apple, if you buy this for the apple in particular, I don't quite get the apple. It is there, but it's so muffled, because the cherry is what does most of the talking. It's a cherry forward fragrance, to a point where some might even say, are you sure there's apple in here? It does have a lot of cherry. However, if you look at if you overdose cherry and then add some apple, cherry is most likely going to be maybe the loudest, something along those lines. Okay, and then that distinct nuttiness, like I said, really distinct. Okay, try to search for the patchouli in here. barely noticeable. Okay, the patchouli is there but not enough to disturb anything. And that is another thing that I notice about this fragrance, is it concentrates on a few notes to a point where the wearer enjoys the actual fragrance. It doesn't go it doesn't take turns and twists and stuff. It is one fragrance that is quite it doesn't develop much. Okay, so the promise of the opening is going to be there all the way to the end. What you get in the opening is going to be there all the way to the end. It does not have twists and turns where it starts leaning this way and leaning that way and stuff like that. It is also midpoint unisex, okay, but I would say maybe leaning more feminine, because I can see maybe a male purchasing this and then thinking, it's not for me. Definitely, to me, I get a very a midpoint unisex kind of fragrance, but it is also dependent on one's nose. Okay, very heavy, very thick. Some might say this is a winter scent. I, for some reason, am able to wear it, you know, even in the heat. I don't have a problem with that, but I guess that also depends on the nasal palette. You know, if you're new to fragrances, you may find this a bit stuffy, but it's not a cloying fragrance, but it is so heavy. Okay, it's to me, I don't get headaches as well, but I do get the heaviness of it to a point where it does kind of come across as though it is really a winter scent. But again, like I said, I just find, to me, it's a scent that you can wear all seasons. Okay, maybe it's because of its gourmandish nature, because it does have that gourmand kind of feel, where some might say it reminds them of apple pie or something so cherry based, because it does smell edible, it does smell drippy, it does smell yummy. Okay, bit of some woods as well, I'd say, but not enough to disturb anything. Like I said, again, you know, the perfumers here were so careful to make sure that it does not cross over to becoming too woodsy. It doesn't cross over to becoming like a patchouli forward kind of fragrance. It's got the patchouli and maybe a touch of wood, but it just stays, you know, it just stays with those with a commitment of that cinnamon, that cherry, a bit of some vanilla, a touch of the apple, you know, very almost invisible patchouli, and then, you know, that white musk. And it could be the white musk as well that is keeping everything in check. Okay, it's not, it does have the powdery, just a slight powdery vibe to it, which becomes prominent maybe after like 6 hours or so, because it is really, you know, a heavy hitter. It's a huge, loud fragrance. This is not one that you would wear and won't have one or two people saying something about what you're wearing, because it is a loud, you know, fragrance, a really heavy you know, fragrance. Okay, really nothing, no unnecessary additions to interrupt this vibe. So it's gonna be your cherry, it's gonna be your cinnamon, it's gonna be rummy or something that feels like cognac-y, you know, it's gonna be boozy, that sort of thing. It's gonna have that slight red apple. If you look deep for it, you will smell the red apple, but nothing here, you know, to interrupt it to a point where it becomes too woodsy, which is why I was saying it does feel like the sort of fragrance that maybe men will think it leans more feminine, because it doesn't have those woods, you know, that really disturb it. It could have a touch of, but they don't disturb it. Okay, really warm, really comforting fragrance, you know, to myself. There is some similarity here to Lost Cherry and to Kilian's Angel's Share. There's a slight similarity, but what I will do, because I've got Kilian's Angel's Share in oil form, I've got 100 ml of that. I'm not going to I may bring a comparison, but until I get like maybe a decant of Angel's Share in alcohol form, I will bring you maybe a comparison with Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. However, what I can say is, if you like Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, you're probably going to like this. Or if you were wondering about Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, if you get your nose on here, it's more or less along those lines. The difference being this one is beastly. Okay, I do own Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, falls flat in terms of performance. This one just outdoes that one entirely, because this is really a beast. Okay, the lasting power here separates them. They're not exactly identical, but I'm saying they have a similar vibe to a point where is it redundant to have both? I will have to bring a video, explaining whether you do need both or you don't need, one in place of the other. But I find that it kind of leans more towards Angel's Share by Kilian. However, the only reason why I cannot, affirm that is I have Angel's Share in an oil. So until I get a decant of Kilian's Angel's Share, then I will see whether this can be classed as maybe a clone or at least an 80% representation of that. Okay, so this is what I had for you today. Attar collection. I did decide to bring you these. I think I'm going to purchase a second one. Okay, and this one's called Khaltat Night. Reason why I came with these is because my I do bring a lot of Middle Eastern fragrances here, and I've had some people I've been trying as much as possible to get my hands on a few more Middle Eastern fragrances so that there is more of a choice, in terms of what I bring, instead of just bringing, say, the Latafas and the Amafs and stuff like that. I want to try and throw in a mixed bag of more Middle Eastern fragrances. I know you guys have suggested Rasasi. I have tried a few Rasasis, but some of them have just happened to be like some of the fragrances that I already have from Latafa. That's why I haven't managed to bring you some Rasasis, some Ajmal, although I do have them in oil form. But I will try and bring in an assortment of Middle Eastern fragrances so that this channel has quite a selection, since most of the people that come here seem to be interested in Middle Eastern fragrances. But at the same time, I'm not going to forget our designer fragrances and niche fragrances, because it is a fragrance review channel after all. So yes, guys, Khaltat Night by Attar Collection, which happens to be a Middle Eastern fragrance company. That is what I had for you today. Let me know in the comment section if if you've used this fragrance, what you think of it. What I can assure you is, if you're one of those people that are always on the hunt for a beastly fragrance, consider this. As long as you like the boozy fragrances, very heavy on the cherry, gourmand, but not mainstream. Okay, really has that niche quality to it. That is what to expect. CeeChronicles is my name. Thank you so much for joining me today. Like this video if you like it, comment if you want to comment, and share it if you want to share it. And remember, guys, stay blessed, stay fabulous, and smelling good is a form of good manners. Cheers.